Hi everyone, it's Emma here from Anywhere English, and today we're going to look at the 10 most common errors that English learners make. And after watching this video, you'll be a much better and accurate English speaker. So make sure you're subscribed down below, click the red button if you're not, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Let's get started. Okay, so I would say the first most common mistake that English learners make is forgetting the S in the present tense, third person singular. So instead of saying I play, we would say she plays, exactly. I sing or you sing and he or she sings. Okay, the second most common mistake that I see from my students is verb agreement. So obviously the verb has to agree with the subject. Many people think that people is singular, so they will say people is, but actually people is plural. It's one person, two people, it's multiple. People are, people say, people do. You need to remember that the verb needs to agree with the subject. Okay, the third most common mistake that I see is students using the definite article the in front of nouns when they're talking generally. So many people will say things like, oh, I love the pop music, or I love the dogs, or I love the pizza. Well, no, in fact, you love all of these things. Always. So you don't use the definite article in this case. You would just say, I love pizza, I love dogs, I love pop music. When we use the definite article the, it's when we're being specific. So for example, if you are looking at a picture of some specific dogs, you could say, I love the dogs in this picture. Okay, the specific dogs in this picture. Or I love the pizza from the Italian restaurant down the road. Okay, so the fourth most common mistake that I see is with countable and uncountable nouns. Now, many nouns in English are uncountable. It means we can't use them in a countable way. For example, using a or trying to count 1, 2, 3, 4. An example of an uncountable noun would be something like advice. Advice is a little bit like recommendation, but advice is uncountable. So it's not possible in English to say an advice. We must say some advice, or if we want to make it countable, we can use a combination of a countable noun with this uncountable noun. So we can actually say a piece of advice, just like you would say a piece of cake, for example. There are many other nouns in English that are uncountable. One of them is training, and also the concept of money. I know this seems a little bit strange, but money as a concept is uncountable. So I would need to say, I want you to give me some money. We can't say, I want you to give me money. If we're talking about this type of money here, we call it cash, or specifically this is a coin, and coins are countable, so you could say give me 3 coins, but money in general is not. So number 5, phrasal verbs. Now many people know lots of different verbs, but they don't know all their different forms, especially if we're thinking about phrasal verbs where the prepositions added to the verbs can really change the meaning and the context. If we said look at something using the preposition at, it would mean focusing your attention and your eyes on something. For example, right now I'm looking at the camera. But if we used the preposition for example, I am looking for a camera, it would actually mean that I don't have a camera, or I can't find a camera, and I am searching for it, I am looking for it. So just by changing the preposition at the end between look at and look for, they have completely different meanings, and many students confuse these different endings. Okay, number 6, and this is such a common mistake. It's the difference between hear and listen. Hear is an action, something that we do naturally. For example, oh, I hear a dog on the street. The dog is barking, making the sound that a dog makes. It's something that happens unconsciously. It happens and it's processed in my ears and I hear this. Whereas listen is something that you do consciously. Generally, you're concentrating on something to listen to it. For example, maybe you listen to music. So if we look at this phrase above, it says, oh no, the connection is bad, I can't you. Which verb do you think we would use here? Do you think we would use listen, or do you think we would use hear? Yes, it should be hear because it's an event that's happening. Let's look at another example. Did you the storm last night? Yeah, the answer is hear again. It's not something that you're concentrating on, it's something that you just hear accidentally. Let's look at one final example. I need to tell you something. Yes, in this case we would use the verb listen because you're wanting somebody to concentrate on what you have to say. Number 7 is making mistakes with adjectives. I can't tell you how many times a student has said to me, I am scary, I am boring, and I have to say, oh really? Now they're mixing up the adjectives scary with scared and boring with bored. Now these are all adjectives, however one describes the thing and the other describes the emotion, the sentiment that you feel because or caused by the thing. So if we think about a movie, for example, is a movie scary or scared? A movie has to be scary, but after you watch the movie, are you scary or scared? Yeah, you are scared after watching the scary movie. Number 8 is question forms, and I could make a whole video on this, and I probably will, but one main thing that people forget, and the easiest thing to rectify, is when using questions with the verb to be, they forget to change the order of the words. So instead of using subject plus the verb, which we normally use for affirmative sentences, such as she is happy, in question forms, we know that we need to reverse the order. So it would mean that the verb actually comes before the subject in the question form. So if we have she is happy, the question would be, is she happy? Okay, the next one is the difference between they and them. And I can really understand the confusion on this one because they are both pronouns and they are both talking about the third person in the plural form. So what is the difference between the two of them? Well, one of them is a subject pronoun and the other one is an object pronoun. And what does that mean? So they is used to refer to the subject of the verb. It's the doers of the action. For example, the children were kind. They gave me a present. The children, they gave me a present. So them is used to describe the object of a clause. It's used to describe the people that have experienced the action of the verb. For example, I've bought some apples. I'll put them on the table. Them is referring to the apples. If you want to practice this a little bit further, I will link down below to a really good practice for you to do. And the final mistake that people make is the difference between the past simple and the present perfect. The simple past is used when the time or the place is specified or required and important. For example, I lived in London in 2005. Whereas the present perfect is used when the time is not important or not necessary. So you could say, I have lived in London, for example. Okay guys, I hope you found this useful and that you will try to practice these little tips. What I want you to do is to look in the down bar below, and there'll be some activities that you can use to try and practice these different things that I've talked about today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share with your friends. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe using the red button below, and this will inform you when my latest video is up next. Don't forget to also check out my Anywhere English website for more blog posts and information and exclusive content, and also online classes with me. Anyway guys, that's it for today. See you soon for another video with Anywhere English. Bye!